Hey everyone, my name is JJ. I'm joined by my cousin JC.
Hey guys.
During these crazy times, JC and I were just talking. We thought it'd be a good idea to do a Zoom series to help lighten the mood and stay connected with our CPOG family. During this series, JC and I will interview CPOG members and players and talk about their memories with the organization on and off the basketball court. Um, Welcome to A Full Timeout with JJ and JC. JC, what's up?
Hey JJ, how are you, man?
Doing well, doing well.
I like your
Excited to
shirt.
get this ball rolling. Oh, yeah, sure.
We actually didn't even plan that, but that's funny. But
Yeah, so like I said, this is just a way for, before we interview anybody else, this is just a way for our targeted CPOG audience to get to know who their hosts are. So take us back to when you started with the program. I know like you joined as far back as you can remember. You've
yeah.
been, like, thrown into it and born into it, I should say. What's your best memory about CPOG?
Oh man. Now you said it. Honestly, I can't say what the date was when I started because I just felt like I was always at McKee, inside the gym, set on tech rather. But for me, I just remember, and for those of you who went to the clinic back then at Set on Tech, the gym was divided into three sections. In the first section, when you walked into the gym, that was kind of designated for, like, I guess the 12 and under kids. The middle was obviously like 13 and maybe like 14, 15-year-old kids. And then the far end was all like, the high school kids. So I just remember being and starting out in the first section, with you, Monty, a couple of other guys our age. And just looking down the other side of the court and just seeing what seemed to be like hundreds of kids on a Sunday. And like for me, I just remember being like one of like the little kids just looking around, being surrounded by so many people. So that's, to me, that's when I started. Like that's my first or earliest memory of being part of CPOC.
Do you remember how old you were?
Honestly, I don't. I don't. I guess I always felt like, for forever, every CPOC Sunday I was just there. So
Right.
either just running around. I'm sure, everybody else we hopefully have on the show after us, they could chime in if they have any memories. But I would like to say maybe like 5, if not, a little earlier than that.
Yeah, as far back as you can remember.
How about for you? Can you even go back that far?
I remember. I think I was about 8 years old.
Yeah, because I think we started around the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 3 years my older, but
Right. I mean, like I used to go before I was 8 just to hang out with you guys. But I think what I would always do is just go to your mom's snack stand and just grab candy or whatever snacks and just hang out and watch the games. Didn't care a lick about basketball. I was more of a gamer back then. But yeah, I remember one time like your dad just showed up one January with registration forms to my house, and he gave it to my mom, and she signed us up. And I was against it. I didn't want to go. I was kicking and screaming the first day. I've been there before, to hang out, but I've never been there to play basketball, and I had no interest in playing basketball at the time. Sure enough, after a couple of sessions under my belt, especially getting to hang out with you guys, I started to enjoy it. And I really struggled in the beginning. I remember like a story where we're just shooting free throws. We do the ball drills, and you would do a couple of free throws. I couldn't even hit the rim. Forget about free throws. I was right under the rim. I couldn't even hit it. And our cousin Joey Albano, he was out there shooting threes. He was hitting it, and
yeah, I think I remember that too.
Yeah, and he's only 2 years older than me, but I remember I might have said it to you or to Kim, and I was like, "This Joey's done this before, right?" 2 or 3 weeks into playing basketball, like I've seen like a lot of growth with my cousins. And since then, it's good to know that I stuck with the program. And right now, ball is life.
No, you said it. And honestly, now because like waves of memory just are floating in my head. It was definitely intimidating. For sure. Even I felt that way too. I mean, I think for me, like guys like Eric Bossi, like Joey Albano, like who are a little bit more advanced, especially like earlier on, they definitely could have made it like intimidating to kind of be on the same line or same drill as them. let alone like the other hundreds of kids to on the other side of the floor too. Um, but yeah, I mean, these like SIPAG Sundays, that was really balls life, man. That was before social media. Oh my god,
Yeah.
before real cell phones. So, um, like, can you imagine just like the fact that no one really communicated prior? Everybody just would show up at Stand on Tech. Like,
Right.
do you remember? Do you remember like coordinating with your friends, or it was like one of those things where you just knew everybody was going to be there, right?
Yeah. Show up at 8 o'clock. It was a
On a
problem. I
Sunday,
remember
that's crazy.
before my parents would go to 8 a.m. mass on Sunday, and it was a struggle to get up for 8 a.m. mass, but never a struggle to get up for 8 a.m. CPOC.
Oh no, right? That's the exception.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Like there was kids from Jersey, from Queens that would just show up 8 a.m.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
man.
yeah,
And just imagine if they actually had like social media back then to like what what that would
yeah.
have been like.
Like you said earlier, there was like hundreds of kids, and I'm sure it would have been
Oh, for sure.
a lot more.
Although like even now, like it does help. Obviously, it's a big tool for any industry to be able to promote or put stuff out. Even for us, like we're going to be using this hopefully to keep everybody connected during this time. But yeah, those are the good old days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's what
for
they say. Those are
sure.
the good old days for sure.
Even after basketball clinic at Tech, the league would be there, and I
Yeah,
remember at the time, like that was probably one of the, if not only, Asian leagues during in the winter
I feel like
time.
that was like the
Yeah,
league. There's so much talent, like
that
the
was the
Jersey
league.
team, like the Queens teams. Obviously, Seabug was always dominant, but oh man, that for sure. Obviously now there's everywhere you look, there's a league or a pro am or. But I felt like you're alluding to it, like in terms of all Asian or all Philippine, all Asian basically was the Winter League. That was a really good collection of talent.
Yeah, for sure. If that was like the league, and then all the competitive players showed up, that's the one you wanted to go to. Right now, I mean, it's good to have all these leagues, and they're all good, but it's if you have choices, and it just separates the players, and you really want to go with where the competition is. And if there's only one
Yeah.
centralized league, you could even possibly say that this was like the mecca of Asian basketball, Staten Island Tech, and now it's crazy. No one even wants to come to Staten Island because of these bridge schools.
I guess we got the league in at the right time.
Uh, talking about that league, do you remember your first time, graduating and playing into this
Uh,
open division?
so all right. I remember, and you like we would do it too. Like you go to clinic, like you said, start at 8 o'clock. You go to like 12 or whatever, and then each division has like their half an hour or 25 minutes to scrimmage. And then like for most of us, the guys that we hung out with and went to CPOG with, like we stayed, you would change your clothes or whatever, wear your Sunday's best with your friends, and then you'd watch the games like for the remaining afternoon. And I just remember like, that was always like an exciting time. For us in particular, like, we had family members, my brothers, our cousins, they were, already playing open and whatnot. So like that was always fun too, because it always felt like a family thing. Like, we're gonna watch our cousins play, like Chris, Paul, and the Dynasty era. But I think I was in high school. Yeah, I was in high school, I want to say, and I think I remember just like we had like a juvenile team, and like I guess yeah, we had a juvenile team, um, and I think I hopped on that team. I didn't play as much earlier on. We had guys ahead of us, Ben Baggy, John, Mark, uh, Kevin,
Mhm.
a bunch of those guys, your age, playing. But I just remember like feeling like, oh man, this is cool. Like, I'm one of the big guys now.
Yeah.
And I think that was like maybe 16 years old, probably 17,
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, for you, like, what was it like? Because obviously, like, we talked about that, but like Jerry Robbo, like, you remember those days, like, in May and stuff. Like,
Yeah. It's
what was
crazy.
what was one of your favorite memories about like Jerry Robbo at that time?
Uh, you know, because Rabo's so quick and 2-day thing. I mean, I think I have like at Tech, I have like one, maybe two J Rabo championships under my belt. Just jumping on the team, not really contributing. But I think when you said just going back to what you said about the scrimmages after the clinic, I remember it's funny because I remember we made a team where it was me, you, Monty, Maynard, and Alapaso. Um, and I think
Oh, yeah.
we would always play the same team. We would split like the Pee-wees or the Bantam teams to
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
We would
Yeah,
always
that's
play
right.
the same team every Sunday. But we destroyed that team. The five of us, like we killed I think they only had like Mark Sabal or something. Just like I don't even know who else was on that team. But out of like 12 Sundays, we beat them like 11 times. I don't know how we lost that one game, but like a memory would be just like winning with your friends, getting that first taste, like your best friends. And it's funny,
Mhm.
fast forward now, like those guys, like Mark, John, Les,
James, you.
yeah, Ben Baggy, like all those guys. They're like my best friends now, and much of them are
Yeah.
freaking groomsmen. Uh,
Yeah, man. Awesome. Yeah, congratulations again, JJ.
Thank you, thank you. But then fast forwarding to to opening and playing with the open guys, the league, man. I remember I was maybe in high school, junior in high school, and I just started playing varsity, and um, I was playing. I think your brother was like Champ was on the team. Marco Palacios, Ed, just a bunch of the guys thrown together, and I asked Boods. I was like, "Listen, Boods, can I play varsity? I mean, can I play with you guys? I'm playing varsity in high school. I want to just get more reps." And Boots said, "Yeah, sure." Um, but we knew like coming in that we had low expectations, but it's just a good feeling to finally be on that open team and be one of the
Hmm.
guys. They treat. I had rookie duties for sure, but I enjoyed, and I'll never forget my first point playing. It was a free throw. I hit the free throw, and one of my teammates just said to me like, "Oh, you're in the books." It's a good
Nice.
feeling, that first point. It's hard to forget. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and just going full circle back to the Jerry Rabo, that weekend was like a mini Naba. It was crazy, and it just gets you, kicks off the summer. It should
Mm,
be going on soon. It should have been going on, if it wasn't for all this, like next week, right?
yeah.
Um, it's just, yeah, like I said, mini Naba, and it's so much hype, and for all the teams to be at one gym at Staten Island Tech, um, it was really something special. So hopefully we can recapture that soon. But yeah, and then my last Jerry Rabo tournament was I think 2018. We won.
Yep.
No, no, no. It was the year you got married. 17.
Oh, yep. That's the one. Yep.
We won in a fast break, and that was a good feeling too.
That was the one. That was a different feeling from the ones at Tech,
Yeah.
because that one was like I mean, I think you agree. Like that was like we felt like it was ours. Like,
Right. Right.
we won it. Like it was, we're the elder statesmen, older guys, vets, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that was a cool one.
I won one in 2005 at Tech, and then this 2017 at fast
17.
break. So 12 years later, it's crazy. Like, oh, we still
Oh man.
still we're still together. We still got it. But then that I felt like 2017 was kind of like a resurgence, because before then we were kind of just picking guys, throwing the teams together. But we put that team together, and it was kind of like the core moving forward with all the Navas. And you guys won in 2018.
Yeah.
So speaking of Navas, let's talk about your best Nava moments.
Oh man. Uh, best Naba moment. You know what? My first championship at NABA was 2001 in Glendale Heights. I was a Pee Wee division.
Wait, we won in
Um,
'99.
yeah, but like the one in 2001 was a little bit more special because like I was able to contribute that year.
Oh yeah, of
Um,
course.
and it was really funky because like I wasn't starting. I was coming off the bench. Um, but shout out Jeremy Apostle. He got hurt after our semifinal game. So I remember Marlon, like we're warming up and like Jeremy's sitting down getting tended to, and like yeah, like obviously like we're all kind of concerned. Um, but then Marlon like just grabs me and pulls me at half court, and he's like he just looks at me and he just goes, "You're gonna start." And I was like, okay. So that was a cool feeling. I was nervous as hell for sure. Like the first like few minutes, I definitely had butterflies. But after a while, like it's all basketball. So I just remember settling in, and we're able to make plays down the stretch. But 2001, and that was a special moment for me.
Yeah, I remember watching you guys too. You beat the team in the championship that beat you in
Yeah,
the semis, the
they
winners
put us
bracket,
here. They put us in loser bracket. That was the home team, Glendale.
home team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had some really good rivalries. Even your age group too.
yeah,
We always had really good rivalries between them.
yeah, definitely.
But like for you going to NAVA, like what do you look forward to besides the competition? Like obviously, like that's the reason why you're there. But is there anything else like that you kind of look forward to when
Yeah,
you
for sure.
travel
I
to these
mean,
cities?
like stepping into my role as on a CPAC team, I was always the type to kind of just like, I was always a part of the practice squad or just trying to make myself better. I wasn't really looking for like major minutes, especially when we go to NABA to win. So as long as the team wins, I'm fine with it. But me personally, I'm just trying to go have a good time. I like it. I like visiting the cities.
Yeah,
Growing up through the years, I've made some friends with a lot of the other NABA players in other cities. Like one guy from DC, I still talk to here and there. Um, so
that's crazy, right? Like it's true. Like after a while, you kind of play some of these kids for like so many years that
right, right, yeah,
you actually link up, especially with
yeah,
social media. Like you said, go back to you
networking
keep
for sure.
yeah.
And then especially with some of the guys like the NABA teams that are nearby, like the Jersey teams.
Mhm.
And then you get older, you can actually link up with them and play with them in leagues. That's cool too. So yeah, I like visiting the cities. I like the overall camaraderie with all the NABA teams. Remember it was the best when I was like in Pee Wee and Bantam, and I would try to like rally all the other teams to come watch our games, and the
Yeah.
gyms would be packed, and our guys would say like the not so PG chants. And it was the best, when you came out winning, and then just everyone's cheering for you, and it was very, very special. Like it's hard to recreate, especially as a kid, growing up.
Yeah. I feel like anybody, athlete or non-athlete, anybody should experience that kind of environment where it's just like,
Right.
over enthusiasm going on. It's packed. There's so many emotions that are filling in the gym. And it's true. Like you find yourself kind of sometimes like playing outside your mind. Uh, and it's just like all for pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the best part about it, because it's like that's what really should drive you. That's what fuels you. Um, And I feel like us, like in particular, being part of CPAC or being CPAC, there's a lot. I mean, there's a target on our back as soon as we walk into the gym, you know.
Right.
And I think a lot of that, no, all of that is due in part of, you know, the our cousins, their friends who put CPAC on the map. Late '80s and all throughout the '90s, who were just very dominant. Um, I was gonna ask you, so because you talked about after clinic staying and watching, like, do you remember being young and watching like Jerry, Ed, Chris, Paul, like Romel? It's like some of those guys
You know what? I don't have like,
because it's
unfortunately,
so
yeah.
long ago, right?
I mean,
It's so damn long ago.
I didn't get into basketball late till I was
They're gonna kill me for that.
I remember seeing like Chris and Paul, Ed and Jerry, but with CPAC, but like not like I can't remember like plays here and there.
Okay,
And
yeah, I mean that's,
yeah,
but
I
you
didn't
like
have
you do remember like watching them warm up and like
right. I've seen,
there's
yeah,
so
I
many
know,
people in the
and
gym
I've
and
seen
whatnot.
pictures, I've seen clips. I've seen them more as the Saints. Just as
Oh
the Saints.
yeah,
So, um, but like I didn't have Chris and Paul. Like I watched your brothers. My guys were Banjo, Champ, Pat
Mhm.
Pilar, Miguel. So I watched those guys play, and they were very good too. So it's just really like, you could see like these generations. You could look up to the older guys who are playing really fundamentally sound, and they're still winning. And you can watch these younger guys who are also just as good, and they're winning too. So the success kind of translates all across
Mhm.
the generations, and it's tough to live up to it, but it's definitely an honor to be a part of it.
No, I totally agree, and I feel like with the winning mentality or the winning attitude, like that stuff he transcended throughout CPOC. Just by putting on the uniform, and not to sound corny or whatever, but there's like a certain expectation and a certain like reputation that that people have of you already, and that's kind of a cool feeling, right? I mean,
Right, right.
you go into now and people are just already looking at you, and
Yeah.
they can't wait to see what time you're playing. So like again, that's one of the, I guess that's part of the magic of being part of the organization. It's
Yeah.
one of the cool things. But I think, like I said, I don't think that happens without those guys, being as successful as they were, during their time. So shout out to the Dynasty Era team.
Yeah.
Hope to get some of you guys on this because I want to hear some stories for
Oh,
sure.
we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them
Want to hear
on.
some stories for sure.
Um, so speaking of your brothers, I think you know
Mhm.
what I'm gonna ask.
I'm mom's favorite. Oh, that's not it.
Who would win? I guess in a game of
I
King of the Court,
knew it.
Banjo Champ or JC?
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I should have looked over the questionnaire before, man. Because
No
I'm not.
question
It's
there.
gonna. This is gonna only start.
I went off script.
I plead the fifth. Honestly, and I think me. I think
Yeah.
I think yeah. I think so.
Why?
I think I have the size. I think I have the handle. Uh, and like I don't know. I just feel like as a competitor, like especially those guys. I mean, with all due respect, I love those guys, obviously. And they were my heroes growing up. Um, but like just getting to watch them so much, I just felt like I learned a lot, and also it helped me like kind of mold my game. Not entirely, because if you look at all three of us, and anybody could tell you who knows basketball, like not all three of us are very different players. Me more so different than them two. Um, but I just feel like my size alone, I'll be able to take them, throw
Nice.
my weight around.
All right. Banjo and Champ, the gauntlet is thrown.
I said it. I said it.
Get them on here to defend their case.
Yeah, tell mom. She knows. Oh man. But you mentioned, guys that you looked up to, you know, in terms of CPUT guys, like is there anyone who you like to idolize, or you liked watching, or who would your favorite CPUT player be?
It's tough.
And you can't pick Monty.
Like I said, I grew up watching Banjo and Champ. I think at the time I was really getting into basketball. I don't know. I don't think Banjo might have been in the Philippines, or I think he was hurt too. So I
Okay.
watched a lot of Champ, and Champ, he was a pure shooter. He could bring up the ball, and he was just making plays every time he played, and he was like very like tenacious about his attitude towards the game was something that really drawn me to his type of style. Not that I play that way, but like I really like watching Champ. And I remember another player might be Ed Grosby. He
Oh yeah.
My first year playing open. I remember Buddah didn't have enough guys for open that season, at least to start the season. And I left my guys, my bros, the juvenile team to play with the open team. Um, and during the season, just like Ed was just jokingly, he's like, "Yeah, come join with us. I'll take you under my wing." And fast forward that season, we won, and Ed won best forward, and he actually gave me his trophy. He's like, "Hey, you want this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Yeah, I
So
love that guy. I love
yeah,
that guy. Ed, please
sure.
come on the show, Ed. Please come on the show.
But
Oh man,
yeah,
and
just
that's
little
such an
things
Ed
like
thing
that.
to do. That's such a Ed like. Now imagine if someone who you looked up to, like didn't do that, or you know what I mean, it could have gone the other way. It could have deterred you from
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
left you
I
with
have the
a
same.
bad
So
memory.
see, going
You
back to
know.
Champ, like I said, he was the guy I looked up to. Then when I finally got to play with him, I knew how tough he was. um, there was one time where we were up maybe double digits, and Boots threw me in the game, and Champ said something to Boots like, "Hey, what are you putting? What are you doing? It's still a close game." I didn't hear it at the time, but someone said it after it was also a playoff game. Someone said something to me after the game, like, "Yo, Champ got upset that you went in." And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was upset about it, especially the fact that I did go in, I scored, and we won and we advanced. But it just goes to show how tough of a competitor he is. And it's funny going back to like my memories because I was before college, and and I was playing like intramural ball in college. I was a captain of my team, and I was doing some of the things like he was doing. I was trying to like just rev
Mhm.
up my teammates, and I used the line with some of the guys that didn't really play. I used the line like, "Don't worry, guys, it's your time will come." The line that's always said to you as a rookie. And sure enough, you just got to pay your dues and you learn. And really, like there really isn't a better group of guys to learn from.
No, for sure. And like, that's so true. Like I've heard that line plenty of times too. Um, but I also feel like that comes with like the territory,
Yeah,
in a way. Like, cause he might have felt, or guys like that might feel like, they've they've heard that. You know what I'm saying? Like
right, right,
I can't wait to ask, like, maybe when they're moving up during, the time of Chris, Paul, and Jerry and Ed
right.
Roma, like maybe they probably heard that, when they were younger. So I think that's something that, it's one of those like, big brother, little brother moments in a way,
Yeah,
but like you said, you find yourself kind of, saying the same thing once upon a time to somebody else. So I guess it comes full circle, right?
yeah, for sure. But it's all learning curve, and it's all for the better. You get thrown in like that was probably my first or second open season. You asked to get thrown into the league, and you got to pay your dues. So,
Yeah, no, that's true. You know,
and we won that season. So,
something must have went right.
all right. One more story before we get out of here. Coach Boods, God rest his soul. He was a major impact, major part of CPAG, kept us all together. Can you share with us a Buddha story?
Oh man, I love you, Buddha. Buddha's the best, man. He made you feel like you're part of the team, and you always were. If you're around him, like he made you part of the team, he made you part of the family. Um, my favorite Buddha story, because there's freaking so many. And honestly, he's one guy, if you're upset or if you're going through something, your emotions are all over the place. Like he could do one of two things. He could either make you like do whatever he says, or he'll make you laugh. So he had that magic about him. So I remember one of my favorite ones. I'll say actually this goes back to Jerry Rabo. And I remember like being in high school. I think at this time I might have been in college, maybe. And Buddha was like saying, "This is gonna be the last year I'm coaching. I'm retiring after this. I'm gonna retire after this." Right? And you're laughing because I think you know what I'm
He
talking
always
about.
says that. Yeah.
So he's like, "I'm done. I'm done. I quit. I can't coach these guys." And he can't. You know what? I noticed he said that a lot during like our era. Like we're coming up. Like he's like,
Right.
I
Right.
can't coach you guys." So with that one Jerry Rabo, I was slated to play or at least be in the rotation. Um, and I was like a younger guy, so like obviously my emotions are running crazy. I get to finally be part of the show. I get to actually contribute in a capacity. And I just remember like being like, you know what, like he's like Coach Boots putting me in, and I finally get to play for Coach Boots. Like I want to show out. And I think we actually made the championship. We ended up losing to, I think, Toronto. That Toronto team was very good too. We lost in championship, and I just remember I remember like I started crying because I felt so bad that here is this like legendary winning coach that always been doing for the most part during Jerry Robles winning, and like I send them off on a loss. So I just remember being in the locker room, and I'm like, he's doing his post game speech, and like I'm bawling my eyes out because in my head I'm like, oh man, like he's leaving, and like he lost, like I didn't win for him. And like Jojo Lega was on the team at that time, so like a very good looking team. So I'm crying, and then everybody's like kind of confused, like what happened to JC, whatever. And like I think Champ was on the team then too, and I think he just like he said like he said that he didn't win for Buddah. So Buddah gives me a hug, whatever. Long story short, I get over it. Buddah coaches the following year at Jerry Robles. So now I'm like, this guy just made me cry for nothing. This freaking guy. That's Buddah. I love him. I love him so much. I miss him, man. Thank you so much for everything, Boots. I know you're watching us, and you're coaching us wherever we play. But for me, that's one of my. And I have a lot. Like I'm sure we have to do part 2, part 3, part 4, just in his story alone. But
Right.
I just remember like, oh my God, this guy got me. He got me.
Well, that was him. His way of keeping us
yeah.
motivated, keeping us together, and definitely knows how to have a good time.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. He also gave my first job at a bar, but that's for a different story. That's neither here or there. But for you, man, like I said, I know we have a lot, but what sticks out?
Nothing in particular sticks out. We've had we've butt heads. We've won championships together. He's babysitted me when I was younger, so I knew him even before SIPAG.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll share 2 stories. One story, it's not really a story, it's just like a running joke we have. He would always say hey, whenever he's coaching me, he's like, hey, I saw you on the bench. You think I didn't see you? I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, when I turn away, when I'm looking around for someone to sub and I don't pick you and I turn away, I see you giving me the finger. I'm like, you saw that? I'm just kidding. Does it to me all the time, but I just always appreciated being on his team. And there were a couple of times where I was truly upset, but I would never resort to that.
Yeah.
And the second
it would be hard to be upset with him.
The second story was off the basketball court, and it involves you. I think he was moving, or he had to move stuff around his house, and after CPOG clinic, it was me, you, and Monty. He took us to his house, and we had to move a couch.
Oh my God!
From one floor to the next floor, and I think we got it stuck in the hallway.
He was like friends.
Yeah, pivot. And to the point where we were just like, forget this, and
we just left.
We left, or we ended up watching TV, and had some pizza in his living room, and he comes back and he looks and he sees the couch stuck. He's like, "What is this?" We're like, "All right, you couldn't get it. You couldn't get it." To this day, I don't remember how that story got resolved or how he fixed it, but it's just like a funny story, and
yeah, I forgot about that, but not now. I remember that. I mean, sorry, Boots, you get what you paid for. 3 slices. There's 3 guys. You get 1 slice each.
But like you said, we can go on and on. He's touched our lives, and he has so many short stories to share.
No, for sure.
We definitely need to do a part 2, part 3.
I think so. I want to get some guys on. I think that there's some stories to be shared. For sure.
So for everybody watching, that we're trying to do this format of just asking questions to whoever we are interviewing at that time. Hopefully we have some interesting guests. But yeah, feel free to throw us some questions to whoever comes on, or if you want to come on yourself, let us know. Hit us up on the IG and Twitter, JCJJ.
Give us some topics too. We're more than happy to talk about.
Even the spicy topics.
No crying.
DC, I'm looking forward to doing this. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Kill on 3. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3, kill.
Kill.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Till next time.